Everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Flicking with Skip. Here with you tonight, behind the scenes Cox and Space podcast. I'm your host Skip, and I'm your friend for the evening. Uh, I don't know you. Maybe our long-term relationship will work out. Maybe it won't. But for right now, just know that I'm on your side, that I'm here for you, and I'd like to support you in any way I can. That's how I think a good friendship works out. You know, if all of us were constantly doing that to each other, we would have 8 billion people who are always working towards the best good of the other 8 billion people. Um, and the only thing that stops that is when you personally decide to be selfish. And that's an individual decision that people have made for generations. Um, Survival of the fittest was kind of the thing that happened, and I believe that we've come into a place in society where we have a lot less scarcity than we did with technology and our ingenuity as humans. We've minimized the amount of labor that we're required to do to get food, and we're very capable of creating those things. And so I'm not saying that there's no cost, but it is easier by far. We know how to plant well, we know how to grow well. We fatten up animals for our liking. We make sure that the milk and byproducts that they put out are healthy. All of these things that they're hardy. And so we as humans have more than we ever historically had, is kind of what I'm getting at. And because of that, there's a paradigm shift where there is an older way of thinking that totally makes sense for the way that things were, and there's a fear that maybe there won't be more in the future. But and maybe I'm speaking from just a first world perspective. Please comment below if you're like, bro, you're so out of touch. That's definitely a thing that I would like to know. I comment out loud to people around me in the hopes that they will comment back, so that we can have that conversation and discourse. So Flicking with Skip is not a Chandler episode where we talk about philosophy and how we think and feel, but I think that's a good place to kick off a little nugget. What we do on Flicking with Skip is work on the animatics of turning Jack's drawings into some sort of animation to show the demonstration of what it would look like with the voices and some limited movement. And then we'll be moving towards getting all these pages working. And also, what we do on the show is talk about movies. That's the flicking with flicks. That's yes, yes. It was more fun when the other guy's name started with the name F. Because it seemed to make a little bit more sense, but I think the I in the middle of the name still works. Also, you guys can comment below. This is like all up for review. So if you guys are totally like hating on the name and we're like, you know what would be better, I'm listening. I'm all ears. I might not agree with you, but I would definitely listen to what you had to say because maybe I would agree with you. So if I can't know without hearing it is what I'm saying. And that's why I make comments to respond with critiques about the life that I'm living. I think I was raised perhaps in that environment, so you're always going to be critiqued, and so I kind of expect it from the world. Although the world seems awfully shy to give it, so I just go about being odd, thinking it's okay, and can't read the signs. So that was fun, don't you think? Let's get to the Final Destination rankings because we have talked about them quite a bit. There's been some surprising twists and turns. There's been a development, sort of like a way that we've kind of like decided how we're going to be ranking these movies, and we're hitting the last little bit. Now, here's the thing: is that While most people are hearing the first episode tonight, which is episode one, it airs, or of the series, episode one of the series that airs on Halloween night. I'm actually recording it on Halloween night. So happy Halloween from my timeline to you guys who are currently who listened to the one earlier and heard us. Wish you happy Halloween. Um, and then also additionally, here's another treat with the trick is that this is not going to be the final episode. This is probably going to be the third of 4 or 5 installments. So the fifth is questionable because I jokingly want to compare it uh, to the substance because that's what we were supposed to be doing with this review. Um, so sorry to disappoint if you came looking for a review of the substance. Let's get into it. So, in the Final Destination, one of the things we look at for this ranking is how Rube Goldbergy something is, and because that's kind of like the Final Destination shtick, is that you know, um, one thing leads to another and somebody ends up dead. And it's fun to watch because when it's done well, the suspense is really played fantastically, and you're just like, oh my God, like we're watching this thing that they should be able to get out of, but for some reason they just cannot escape. And it's lovely. It's lovely torture for characters that don't exist. Obviously, don't do that to real people because it's not lovely when that happens. So distinction between the enjoyment of fiction and the enjoyment of that as reality is not something I think should be said, but just because yeah, the capitalist system that we have breeds psychopaths. I think is something that we should because everyone's self-serving in a capitalist system, especially the one that we've set up with the way that it is. This neoliberal spin, like everybody for themselves. Capitalism isn't bad necessarily, but when you put that in, yeah, the only thing you're gonna get is narcissists and psychopaths. Um, I'm not saying everybody is, but I'm just saying there's a lot more tendencies towards it when the society is all geared towards that. Um, Anyway, so the Final Destination kills with the way that they kind of like, they lead up to the torture of people is really interesting. Like seeing people struggle against death is the whole reason the franchise exists, right? Um, and so this one is cool. We're gonna go to Final Destination one. Remember, this is the original movie, obviously. So they're doing some things that might seem like cliche, but actually, it's the first one. So they're not necessarily they're not cliche because they're setting the trend. So when other movies do it, they're imitating this movie, and it's fine for this movie to do things. Um, and so what it's doing is the plan is for them to try to fight death, right? And so this guy who's been like the main bully, he's like, you're not really supposed to like him, I don't think. Where is this other dude? There he is. Um, and he's the one that his girlfriend dies as she's yelling "drop dead" at him, and so he's not supposed to be likable, I don't think. Uh, anyway, so he's decided. His girlfriend got killed. He's like, I'm not supposed to be next, so I shouldn't be able to get killed, right? This is the idea. And in order to prove it, he parks his car on the railroad tracks. Man, the L and the R together, these are just, you know, words that are difficult to say in the same space together. So anyway, so he parks it there. He's like tempting fate, and they're all screaming at him. And then he's like trying to get out of the car. And, like, he decides he doesn't actually want to go through with it. Um, and so they finally get him out of the car, and he's like, no, because they're calling out the character they're calling out who's supposed to be dying is played by William Scott, who is well known from the '90s movies. I'm not sure that I've seen him do anything more recently, but I can't say that I've also looked. So I don't have any specific comment to that. But yeah, he was really well known in the '90s. He was in the American Pie franchise. He was he was more. There's definitely more. He has a big goofy smile. And so that means that he can get away with most things because of that big goofy smile of his. And so I think he does, and he did. He was known for doing. Actually, he did one of my favorite movies. I was trying to remember what it was, and now it's come to me. And it's called The Goon, I believe. I'll pop it up on the screen to make sure that we get the right title. But it's about a hockey player. It's this biography of a hockey player who's not really great at hockey, but he's really good at taking hits. And so it's like about him and like him. He's smart enough to realize that he's not smart, and interesting for that. And that it's a heartfelt movie, and not in the way that like pulls your heartstrings, but in the way that William Scott can play like goofy ass characters and get away with shit. Anyway, that's who is supposed to get killed in this kill. So if you guys, I'll put his face up on the screen too, so you guys could see it. So you'll know. And then also. You'll see this here if you check out the film. So the car is parked on the tracks. It gets smashed by the train. They get this dumbass of his car in time. They're all laughing and breathing a sigh of relief. And he's like, he's fine. Everything's fine. And this bit of metal that came from the car is underneath the train tracks, and you see it like it gets hit a couple times. It gets hit a couple times, and then it kind of like then as they're all laughing and joking, it just like shoots out and it slices off Sean William Scott's head. And the character's called Billy in the movie. So it's fun. It's a fun kill. They have suspense. They're doing the original they're doing the Final Destination thing, which is like trying to tempt death. I don't like I was saying I don't like this guy all that much, and so that's kind of like coloring my opinion of this. Like it doesn't have to happen, but this is one of the instances where again, excuse me. This is one of the instances where they in trying to fight death, they become the agent of death themselves. This is another thing that happens in these movies quite a bit. And so I'm not sure. I'm thinking that it's probably like C or B, just because it's like kind of average, kind of what you would expect. There's nothing really special about it, um, except the guy's head gets cut off, and you get to see it, and it makes you kind of like wary of train tracks. But let me check real quick to see what's in like C. Um, the top of C is the cookout explosion, where there's this oh no, we know it's about to happen, and then it does happen. So I would argue that it's kind of right there. Um, right below that is wow. Okay, gotcha. The 180, the original 180 crash from Final Destination 5. Um, Yeah, no, B is really leaning hard into the Rube Goldberg. I would say that this kill, because it has a celebrity in it and because it's the OG, is actually going to outrank the Cookout. I wish Logan was here with us so that I could get his feedback on that because he might have some thoughts also, but we might have to save that for like a commentary or something. So if you have some thoughts about that, whether that is the appropriate ranking, that we actually outranked the Cookout, which has been kind of our earmark for category C with Sean William Scott's death, just comment below. I'm willing to listen, like I said. We could talk about these rankings. They're not set in stone, especially if you guys as the commenters really have some thoughts about them. Um, yeah, especially since I have no co-host tonight. It really, I mean, really more than anything, I would like to hear, because I don't think it's fair. Like I can rank the Final Destination kills all day long, no problem. But the thing really is, for me, that's okay to have an opinion, but I know it's not totally correct. I know that I've missed some insights because I'm not capable of seeing everything. The fact of the matter is that humans only look forward. We don't have 360 spatial vision. Um, and I think that that affects the way that our brain works too, right? Like we look towards the future, or we turn and look towards the past, or we can cast our eyes down at our feet and look at the present, or what that sort of thing, right? Um, but our brains don't work in this sort of like taking in all sorts of things. It's very focused for the most part. Neurodivergent brains have a tendency to scatter off a lot. So that's a different type. But uh, hang on, I think Young is trying to jump on board right now, and I am so sorry, buddy. I did not even see that you were there. Um, so let me just connect you to that. Uh, how's that? Nope. Yeah, you're really supposed to, as a member. Can you put your hand up? Do you know how to put your hand up? Because that would be. Oh, you've already done it. Okay, I got you. So awkward. I apologize, guy. Um, no, no. I'm supposed to just be able to. There you go. And then you're muted. But that might be.
Welcome back to a live recorded podcast, behind the scenes Cox and Space, ladies and gentlemen.
We are here, all of us together. Thank you for joining us. I apologize for the different settings. They should be no problem. I think I can set you up as moderators from the beginning, and I just didn't know how to do that, so I'll make sure I pay attention to doing that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so welcome. Because you're set up in this stage as a moderator, so you should be able to just be able to join it, but not sure why and how. Anyway, how long have you
They're
been here?
changing things up, and it makes me feel old.
Well, so it was suggested by Chandler, um, who is more hip to this than I am. But also, he said that there's sometimes he wants to jump on, but he doesn't want to be a part of the conversation. He just wants to listen. And when he was doing
Hmm.
a live stream earlier, same thing with me. I was like, I just want to listen. I don't want to be a part of the conversation. I want to just listen to what they're doing and be a part of what they're doing. So that was the thing, kind of that I was uh, where I was leaning with this is we invite people on the show all the time to come just hang out and be there. But in Chandler's mind, it was uncomfortable because it felt like he would be joining a call. And so now we have
Right.
stage members set up, and this was not meant to plug the new audience section that we have set up for the stage. It didn't work out. Makes it possible now that you guys can check
Yeah,
it out.
you guys can actually come and be part of the show,
Yeah.
and come and listen in as we create these things for you guys.
Yeah, and yeah, be a part of it, and then also you guys have a separate chat, or you
Yes.
can you can chat that in a place that we can see it come up, so you can interact with the show if you'd like to as well, and then if you want to have comments and whatever, we can, like I did with Logan, draw you on and have you do it. So again, how long have you been listening?
So, we just got finished about maybe 10 or 15 minutes ago. I tried to join not long ago,
Okay, so did you
but
catch
couldn't
the
get through.
the last ranking?
I did not.
So I actually moved to uh, put a kill above the cookout explosion of C.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm not going to dive into the re-explanation of it so
Right, of
much,
course.
but I'll tell you which one it is, and we could talk about it more from your perspective. Um, uh, so it's the one where Sean William Scott gets killed by the piece of metal that gets thrown out from under the train by the guy who decided to
Oh
park his
yeah.
car on the train tracks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are my votes for it. Is that it's sudden, so there's a surprise, like they mess with us, but it also has a high amount of suspense because the guy's messing with death, and they're trying to get him out of the car, right? They're doing the classic Final Destination thing, where they're like challenging death itself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, that was for all of those things. I was like, I think that this is the one that I think should set the new rank for what like we expect. What a high C is. Like what a Final Destination movie should be giving us.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the cookout explosion did that for us, and I think that this one is like more typified of it. I forgot that this is the other celebrity, but he was actually not a celebrity. I think when this movie was made.
I mean, I think there had already been 2 or 3 American Pie movies.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, then
So he
then he
was, so
was.
he was
Yeah,
he had been out
Stifler
there.
was yeah firmly established. I think you would appreciate that joke.
No, I mean I love Sean William Scott.
Um, so okay, nice. Yeah,
I thought he
same,
was all right.
same. Yeah, no, he is. I think he is. I was sharing my favorite movie about him, but we you could guess that on the recast. Uh, are you ready to go over a very involved kill that I think deserves the attention that it's given? Um,
Oh yeah.
so here's this. And I say this, even though you know that I've dogged on the Final Destination for this entire series. Also,
Absolutely,
Happy
yeah.
Halloween, Logan.
Because I didn't think we were gonna say it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Guys,
This
this
is
is the
trick.
episode that is actually being officially
Well,
recorded
no,
on
yeah, I
Halloween.
called it out. I was like, hey, there's an episode where we're like, it is Halloween now, the trick, because the additional trick that I called out was that there's more to this series, at least
Right.
one more episode, and then possibly a tie-in with the substance, uh,
So yeah,
possibly. But okay,
that's why
I've dogged on the Final Destination a bunch.
yeah. Oh yeah. But also happy Halloween.
Yeah.
But
Let me just throw that in there real quick because my brain's
I
like all over the place.
I was trying to be tactful about saying like I was trying my best to not say like yeah we were like trick or treatering.
Oh,
Like
is that what you were
we
doing? Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool. That's where you were out. You were trick or treating. Okay, trick or treatery.
yeah we were like giving out candy for trick or treaters.
That's exactly what a home yowner should do.
But yeah no very excited for the very involved kill. One of the only perhaps one of the only memorable kills from that movie. I mean, I know
Yeah.
we've ranked a few of them like kind of up there, but I mean, like I mean, we have the B tier um kill
Okay,
up there
what
from
was the one the beater that what was the one from Final Destination that made that?
uh
Is it the
remote
escalator?
control car that looks just like the
Yeah,
car that crashed.
yeah.
It
Okay,
uses
so it's
generators
it's
being
the
hoisted over
ending
the mall.
the ending that it's supposed to have is the one. That's the ending
Hmm.
that the movie should have, and they don't give us a good ending. Um, but take a look at this. So the thing that's great about this kill is it's very, very simple, but it takes a super long time to get there. In fact, this scene is probably like, I don't know, 12 minutes or something. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, and it starts with this bitchy woman. I don't know if that's the right word, but she's kind of a Karen, right? Um, she she's has yeah, she survived death, and she's decided she needs to get her hair done and her nail appointment taken care of, and like she just needs a spa day or whatever. But so they get out of this car. She takes her kids with her. She sees this guy filling his gas tank, and he's smoking as he's filling a gas tank. So you should immediately be like, "Oh crap, danger!" Right? Like that's
Right.
out to get them. Um, the kids throw rocks at the guy. Not at him, but they're throwing him at a sign, and it's like near where the guy's at. And he yells at them for being like dumbass kids, right? And then she like gives him like $5. She's like, go to the arcade and like give me like 45 minutes or something like that, right? She talks her way into an appointment even though they're closing. Um, and then, so she's not supposed to be there, and she's not supposed to be spending the time there that she's supposed to. And then there's this whole like thing about how the chair isn't working, and you start to see these things like um, they're cleaning out under her nails and scratching it. You see the fan over her head is loose. The floor is slippery when a bottle of product gets squirted across the floor.
And they're hinting at that Rube Goldberg.
Yeah, they're doing they're doing
They're
the shots
showing they're,
exactly
they're
like
showing everything that could go wrong.
yeah, exactly. And that's where you're like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, how is it going to come together? How is she going to get killed? She asks for a drink
Right.
of water, and the condensation from the glass that she asked for makes the hairspray slide into a flattening iron. Um, and then all at once, it's like these things all kick off, right? So it's like the kid slips, the spray explodes, the fan falls, but nothing happens, right? Like she doesn't die. And everybody's
Hmm.
scared, and they have a big laugh. And she goes out, she's looking fabulous, right? She pays her bill. She tells her kids not to be naughty and all this as they go out the door. And then as they go out the door, you see that the guy outside is finishing mowing the lawn, and a rock catches in the lawnmower and shoots like across the street and takes one of her eyes out, and she just hits the floor.
I mean, and two, what a visual, like what a real thing that could happen.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, it's one of those things I'm gonna be like, careful on the mower. Every time that I'm like, dude's mowing, it could pick up a rock. You never know.
Right. Like it, it's one of those visuals like that kind of sticks with you a bit. A la like the logs or
Yeah,
like the tanning bed
yeah,
perhaps,
yeah.
which I'm not sure if we've mentioned yet.
Oh, we haven't got there yet, man. No, yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite kills. Because I've never conceived of that, and they pull it off. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that spoilers on that one, I guess. I would have to give it like this is probably A or low S, because they really lead us on, and they
And
know what they're doing on purpose. Well, okay, and then
really high
also
rating for such a shit movie.
well, that's the thing too. Like I'm like, and because it's in such a shit movie, it's like somebody wanted to write this one scene, and then they pitch that, and they're like, okay, now write a movie, and they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, like they wrote the whole
That
movie around this.
yeah, because I mean, this is the one, in my opinion, of this movie that like does everything from a Final Destination movie that it should, and then messes with
Mhm.
us as the audience. So that's where I'm like, you know what I mean? Um, as much as everything else, and they missed their ending, and just some of the special effects in this movie are just so bad. This one pulls off such a simple thing so well because it's just makeup, it's just set up in music. So yeah, I mean, it really like it's if it was a kid's like student film, you would in the class you'd be like, I want to shake that kid's hand. He's got a bright future, or she. I'm so sorry to have gendered that director as if they can only be a man in a student film class. Oh my God. Sorry, ladies. All of you powerful women out there who just got a little pissed off. I am really sorry, but you see, I'm also pretty gender coded to society that we live in, as much as I try not to be. So here we are. So how do you feel about that rank?
Mm, this might be above Bobby in the RV.
Bobby and the RV. Okay, you're saying low S. Okay, low S. Okay, so you're down with that. This is
This
the
might be
pileup.
this.
Oh no, yeah, it's below the pileup.
Yeah, below the pile up, but
Yeah,
above Bobby in the RV.
yeah, no, that's fair. The pileup. What do we even have above the pileup? Oh, the
Well,
one where
Bobby in the
they
RV is
tease
also
us for
like
a
the
long
wait.
time.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute. Wait a minute. That starts. That's the MRI
yeah,
kill.
that's the MRI kill. Yeah, I don't know
Ooh,
if it's better
I
than
think it
that
might go
kill.
below. Yeah, it
Yeah,
might go below.
I mean, I would
the
definitely,
MRI
yeah, it's
still.
like on that level of like messing with us and all these things getting set up. Um, they do have a good ending conclusion because they show the lawnmower and then the rocks, and then they put it together with all the nonsense in the middle. And the nonsense in the middle is a super fun ride. Um,
But
but yeah, no, yeah, exactly. The pileup, of course. Um, oh, and then it's just such a long way to get to the trash dumpster. Absolutely. Oh yeah, of course. And the dude getting killed on the table. That's some F tier shit right there. That's really why I wanted episode 5. That's what my vote is for episode 5. And guys, comment below if you also want an episode 5. Because I want to kind of go over the ranks and just talk about like not where they go, but like what S means, right? Like so we move up from like why we rank some movies really low and what like across the series what they seem to be lacking on in what particular portions, and then move up from there. That was kind of the thought. Um, so anyway, or if we just stick with our rankings and and do that, Logan Gifford.
yes, sir.
I was just yeah. Any thoughts along those lines for uh, episode
I mean,
5?
yeah, I feel like there is some explanation, or there probably will be some explanation for the tier list that we need to make. Um,
Yeah, kind of
because
like a
things
final
are,
thoughts episode.
yeah, things are subjective, and we chose these things for why we chose them, and I feel like if we hadn't gotten into them in the four former episodes, that the fifth would definitely put a cap on it.
And then also like, why not? Let's do all of November as Final Destination rankings. It's a fun bit. I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I
okay.
honestly didn't think it was going to be as fun as it is.
No, for real.
I mean,
Right? Like, sorry to cut you off. Please continue.
um, I mean, just to say, like most people view these movies as like cheesy. Like they write them off as like
I
they're
definitely was thinking that. That was my
C
thoughts
grade
as well.
horror movies. And like once you start to look at them, you actually realize that there's a little bit of art that goes into them for sure.
Yeah, yeah. These ones, I wouldn't say that about all B movies, and I don't think that that's what you were saying. But I think
No,
that
no, no,
this
no, no.
this
I
is
just
one.
like, yeah, like specifically like how some of the Final Destination movies are written. Like when you start to analyze, like we are, like when you go through like how people end up dying, it's pretty fun to view it from that aspect.
Yeah, yeah. I think the first one was probably like a summertime movie. You know what I mean? Like it was just supposed to be like, and I think that's where people got their first impression from it. And then there's a number of artists who have come around the series to really make it something. And that's where yeah, I think especially, as we've talked about with Bloodlines, I think that, they know what they're doing now, and I respect it as a franchise. I think other people should think differently about Final Destination. It's no longer the summertime franchise it was.
Right.
Speaking of though, it like we let's go back to the original movie because in the original movie they have some fantastic kills, and this next one is one of them. Mrs. Lewton, the teacher. You remember her, of course. She decided to go on. She nobly decided to go with the kids to France when they found out some complication or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, no, she stayed back. I'm sorry. With the kids who got thrown off the plane, and that's why she was a survivor. And she decided to nobly let the other guy go to France instead of her. Uh, so she's in her house. She hears John Denver, the same song that she heard when the plane was when they all got off the plane. Um,
Yes.
And then this is the one I think that you were thinking of, where with the guy who was shirtless who gets finally killed outside the window, but there's an elaborate kitchen accident, like so involved that it just you can't really. There's all these little pieces, like it's so Rube Goldbergy, like it introduces like how death plays games with them, right?
Hmm.
But it ends up with her being in a fire, and she's trying to reach up to like grab a towel to like put the fire out or something, and she pulls a knife block onto her, and all the knives come out and onto her. Um,
Pretty gruesome, but honestly,
oh wait,
in the
hang on,
realm of realism,
that's not even the
those
end.
knives would have to be so sharp.
Yeah, that's not what kills her though. Because there was a whole thing with like her mug cracking, and she was drinking alcohol out of this mug, and it like she put it down on top of the monitor, her computer monitor.
She's drinking booze out of a mug, dude. What was
So,
it? Was it 10 a.m.? Jesus,
yeah,
is
right.
she all
Yeah,
right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, she's going through survivor's guilt, and that's kind of like what they're like playing at. But the monitor explodes, and the whole entire house explodes at the end of this kill. So it doesn't end with the knife block. Like they're like, oh man, she's in a bad way. And I think there's someone like the kid's trying to run to like stop her, but he's like right outside, and the house explodes. Um, so I mean, we're like, hey, previously, I think that this series is going somewhere, but I mean, look at the first movie; they definitely seemed to be going somewhere at that time. It just took us a little longer for the payoff, I think.
Yeah. I feel like the first movie was very much like it was what it was supposed to be. It was a campy horror, like like I said, summertime. High school kids go see this movie.
Right,
Which like for the time, nowadays everything comes out on fucking Disney Plus and
right,
Netflix.
right. Yeah, there's very,
What happened to
very,
going to a matinee with your
very few
friends?
reasons, yeah, to go to a movie anymore. Um, man,
I'm sorry, just me being an old guy.
yeah, I mean, things change, and the future will continue to change as it goes. Um, what are we thinking? I mean, it's very extravagant. It's definitely where they spent a lot of their budget because of the explosions. Um,
But I mean,
I'm kind of thinking C, but like maybe right below the the plane exploding from Final Destination 5 and right above
um,
the roller coaster accident.
I would put it below the roller coaster.
Really? You put it
Well,
below the roller coaster. Okay. All right. Let's see the
no,
stake.
no.
I mean, the roller coaster is big and fast.
The
There
roller
are a
coaster,
lot
yeah,
more
yeah, like
deaths.
everything happens pretty quickly, and yeah, like there's significantly more people who die.
Yeah, that's
But
that's that's fair, and it is more tragic
but
and
you are fair and
suspenseful.
also saying that the machine is at work.
Yeah, this is definitely. But you're right. Like out of the two of them, what's more memorable of the two of those things? I think it would probably go Final Destination when the initial explosion and then Mrs. Luton's death. Even though it is a big explosion and all that. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean it's one of those where I'm like it's almost tied with that roller coaster.
It's
Um,
close.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like they're almost on the same level in my opinion, for different reasons. Like yeah, just like the bigness of the roller coaster and all the extra deaths is that balanced against the OG, and then the way that we see intricate, the way that the death is intricately working, right? Um,
Right.
so so for those things, I would think I'd be thinking along those lines. I think that's pretty fair. So like mid low C, um, but that's kind of we expect that, so it's gonna fall in there. Um, okay, tell me if you remember this one because it's really weird. It's just weird. Final Destination put some strange characters. I'm sorry, Final Destination 3 put some strange characters together.
Oh yeah.
One of them, one of them is this bodybuilder, um, jock dude. I guess he's a jock, right? Because they were all at a high school event, a seniors night
Yeah,
or
they were like
something.
weightlifting.
Um, yeah, but this is where his death happens. Yeah, the carnival was like I think a seniors night. Um, do you remember this kill?
Um, I'd have to read it. I'm not gonna lie, boys and girls, I'm cutting a pizza right now.
Oh, I got you. All right. Well, here's the thing is that so they are working out, and they get this premonition right because this is all about they're getting like these signs about how people are gonna go. They're pulling it from Final Destination 2. It's like fine, but whatever. Um, so they like this weight's gonna fall on him. He's like, no, I'm invincible. I'm a god among men. Like he's doing basically like a steroid rant or whatever. And then you see that the swords that are like their symbol, like a coat of arms or whatever, is like
Yeah.
it's not just
Which
this like
why
I
would you
don't
put
know.
real swords up
Real
there?
swords. There's real swords in the
Yeah,
display.
real
Yeah.
sharp swords?
Like,
Why?
why? Why? What purpose do you think that was going to serve? Um, so then they start doing the Rube Goldberg thing, right? There's water from the water fountain. It's on the floor next to the portable radio. The dude starts yelling "fuck death," and then the swords like fall from the display and slice this cable, which releases the weight that's holding the cable that's holding the weights back, and then the dude gets his head smashed. So, I mean, as far as like kills. Um, it's pretty funny. It's a pretty funny kill. It is Final Destination 3. They don't have a lot going for it, and then so like that kill out of nowhere, you're like, yeah, that's fun. Thank you for leaving me in my boredom for a second.
Yeah, I mean, that one's a little bit more absurd.
For sure,
Um,
it doesn't make any sense. There's not a whole lot
yeah.
to it. It seems like in Final Destination 3, the more they try to help people, the more people end up dead, because of their actions, which I think is probably not a good strategy.
hmm
But they go with it quite a bit. So what we thinking on this rank? It's
Oh
kind of
man,
absurd, right? There's not a whole lot of build up Rube
like
Goldberg
dude,
style. They're very aware.
maybe. Like, let's look at some of the C
See, no, I
tier
mean we were just
and
looking. See,
look.
I don't think it's no, I don't think it's that good.
No,
I mean,
yeah, you're
I
right.
think it's amusing, but I
Yeah.
don't think it delivers what Final Destination we want from a Final Destination movie. It could be a death that happened in any movie, um, you know. So
We
I,
might have a high F here. Oh, also,
well,
we
okay,
should we should edit the table to not have an E tier and just goes A B C D F like a grade.
okay. There isn't an E normally on the table.
I don't think so.
It's weird. I copied it from a table that had an E on it. And that's why it has one.
I don't think I've ever seen an E tier.
I don't know. Maybe F is the shadow realm. I don't know. I mean,
Perhaps.
the ranking is whatever. I mean, once you get down that
A
low,
table is law.
yeah. Well, I mean, once we get down that low, we're just kind of quibbling at anything. You know what I mean? Like, is it E bad or is it F bad? Like bottom of the list is pretty bad. Um, so the very bottom of the list is her friend's getting killed. This out of control truck kills the videographer. I've thought about that one more. Actually, I remember what the thing you were talking about, which didn't. Yeah, I've seen it now in a couple of clips. The engine popping out the front of the car and like
Yeah,
like grinding up the guy's head. That's unexpected and so bizarre. I think that's why I forgot about it. Like, how does
it's a
yeah, but
pretty
how
wicked
does
visual, man.
yeah, but how does the engine come out the front of a car in a way that doesn't
Right, like
smash the people inside the car?
like there are
Like,
things to prevent this from happening, which is
yeah,
also why it doesn't make sense.
yeah, like there's a happy, and they never showed us anything going wrong, like bolts coming loose in like the hood, or like the frame itself being cracked, so that'd be possible. Also, like the way that the physics are is like if they smashed it that hard, it has to like go through the car and then skip through where the people are and then go to the engine because they're not
Right,
affected
and
by
also like
this
all,
amount of
all of that
force.
stuff is connected. Like you'd have to
Yeah,
like there's a drivetrain following that motor, you know,
yeah.
like
There's another. Yeah, there's a whole other thing holding in place, right? Like,
right. So
uh,
it is that kill is pretty absurd. I don't know if we've already ranked it, but that is one of the sillier ones for sure.
yeah, we did. That was in a previous episode. I think the first one maybe. Um, let's see. So if we're looking at D tier, um, yeah, okay. So right, some Final Destination ones. Um, wow, we put the Keckner one in the D tier. Oh, because
Oh yeah,
it just comes out of nowhere. Okay, gotcha.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
just like
I would give you this is
it,
probably along those same lines then. Yeah. Um, oh yeah,
yeah.
Roy getting killed instead of the other guy. All the kills in the yeah, okay. Yeah, this is yeah, this is definitely it's a thing that could happen in any movie. So I don't think it's better than the Keckner kill because you actually see his jaw get cut in half, and you wouldn't expect that from the wrench. And you see this whole
Mm.
big yeah, I would say they're probably like right over there, probably like high D, which
High
high D,
oh
the
high
the
D.
dog.
I was like high D.
No,
What?
yeah, yeah, right. No,
Like,
no, not even that close. Like yeah, it's definitely not. I don't believe it's C tier, um, and I think that it's right below Keckner,
yeah, yeah.
and
I'd say.
and right above the Todd like accidentally slipping and falling in the tub and all that. Can't get his feet under
Yeah.
him. Good kills, satisfying. Could be anywhere. In a lot of ways. So cool, cool, and what we got next? Um, this one, this one that puts Final Destination on the map for so many different reasons. Are you've your pizza slice? You ready to talk about
Oh
this
yeah.
one? Do you know which one
Ready
I'm
to
talking
dive in.
about? Okay. Um, so they're going off to go like find the pregnant woman, right? In Final Destination 2. Yeah, that's right. That's that movie. Um, they get in this accident along the way. Do you remember this incident? You think where the cookout happens? This is the incident where they meet the kid. Is this from this accident? Um, it's this big
Hmm.
scene. There's a whole thing that happens with his accident. So the black guy we were watching, this is the reason that he ends up in the hospital where he gets trapped, and we've talked about multiple times, like the ventilators being moving, the vents being closed, and how it's not really fair that he's getting cheated. Um,
Yeah.
so this is where he gets that injury. This is where they kind of split up and go to the hospital, go check it out. But the rich girl who we've seen, who has the nice haircut, the nose job, she's constantly smoking. She's like we meet her one time. She's having a conversation with her mom while she's on the treadmill. She's just like she's very like preppy. She
Right.
gets trapped in the car. She gets something like in this accident. She gets something that's like pushed across her lap, and then we see that she's almost impaled by this plastic PVC pipe that's pushing through the back of her seat. Um, do you remember this?
I believe so.
So this scene goes on. We see this. The news van rolls up to the scene because of this accident, and it gets its gas tank punctured. And we see the gas run down this broken pipe, this broken PVC pipe. And the rich girl starts smoking, and she's trapped in the car, and we think that it's gonna explode, right? Um, and then what we see is the firemen come up on the scene, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna use the jaws of life," and so they start to like saw into her car, and it deploys her airbag, smashing her head back through the spike in the seat. and she drops her.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she drops her cigarette and it lights the gasoline line all the way back to the news van, making the news van explode. And then when the news van explodes, it takes the barbed wire fence and pushes it through the druggie guy. Um, the one who predicted the elevator death. And, this is the
Okay,
shot where the dude
yeah.
gets sliced in like quarters and he falls apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get not one death but two, and then this definitely death's messing with them, and it's their own events that are happening, and then total surprises in both cases. Don't expect the airbag, don't expect the barbed wire. There's no way you could have seen those coming. So I don't know. I would give this I would immediate knee jerk is put in the S tier. S
Wow.
tier. Yeah, because it's I like in the one that we saw in Final Destination 5, they pull up the shots a couple of times from this scene. This scene is the one that leads up to the barbecue kill. Um, and also, right, like totally unexpected, and we're led the whole time. So I think they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing correctly. Your reaction is, wow, why do you think it would be less?
Well, I mean, if you look at some of the things that we have in S tier, we got the creep with the needles.
Oh, that's true.
We we have the actual elevator kill. We have the
Uh,
guy from Bloodlines, the piercing guy who ends up,
oh, that
meeting his unfortunate end.
no. Well, so it's actually his sister does, and we didn't see that coming, and that's why it's the combination of those two things. Dang. Um, dang.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
S tier's high for that one. I would say. I would
Yeah.
almost go. I would almost dare to say low A B.
Okay, so you're not talking about the original. You're not talking about the elevator that he predicted. You're talking about the original from Bloodlines, the elevator scene itself, which is the
Hmm.
pre-vision. It's crazy that a vision ranks so high, but it does really actually it's really good. Um, hmm. So yeah, okay. There's those, and then the original pileup. So it would have to be that, or the one we just did with the guy filling up the gas tank. Yeah, that's a. So okay, yeah, no, I knee jerk. Yeah, I wanted to put it up there, but I'm looking at A even, and I'm like, I don't know if it even ranks in
Yeah.
A. Um,
Yeah, man.
because I want to say like that it would rank even with the elevator, the one that he predicted, but it doesn't seem to do that. Um, and even B, well, okay, so B kind of has the where it's hitting the Rube Goldberg thing. Um, it's definitely more in line with these ones. Uh, but on the contrast, it is pretty slow. Like it has a nice payoff, but it does take a little while, and they cut between a lot of different things to make it even interesting. Um,
Right.
so yeah, I don't even think it's gonna be B. What was your original ranking?
I said low A B, or I think it was low B C.
Yeah, I would give you for sure. I'd give you that.
Probably above Black Eye in the Hospital. And I'm sorry, I know we named him last time.
We
I know we gave him
did.
a name,
Um,
or we did establish his name. Excuse me,
well, we
Jesus Christ.
recognize that he does have a name. Um,
Right.
yeah, it is more interesting than that one for sure. But I don't. Yeah, it's probably no. The grandma kill is pretty to the point, and then we've talked about that screw being on the balance beam and how the tension is so tight in that one. Yeah, I would definitely give you that one. The build up to that guy's death is slower than this one.
Hmm.
All right. Definitely want to do the pasting if that is okay with you, computer. Um, cool.
Guys, as we come up to the 1 hour mark, I do
Yeah.
just want to mention that this is a Cox and Space behind the scenes podcast. My name is Logan Gifford. I'm here with Skip and Marazi. We're doing Flicking with Skip, where we review all of our favorite movies, bits from movies, and we have all kinds of fun.
Yeah, that's true. If you want to find out more about Cox in Space, you can. You can go to coxinspace.com. And that's coxinspace.com. You get to see our trailer of the first clip that we've got of the episode. You can take a look at our contacts and see all the other things that we're into and associated with. And you can, more importantly, you can get in touch with us on either our Facebook. You can come onto the Discord and chat. Those are both up on there. And you can go onto our Patreon. For just $5 a month, you can join the crew. You can just click join the crew. And you can pick. You want to be a cadet? You want to be a science officer? You want to be a bridge officer? You decide how much you want to put towards the show. That money is to help us get it to you sooner, get those animators working on it, and then in addition, just give us more time to be able to do it. So the other way you can help us out is just liking and commenting, subscribing to our channel. So thank you guys for doing that. And those are all the options. Check out coxinspace.com. You can check out my guy here on Instagram. So Logan Gifford, Young Remorse, YUNG Remorse on Instagram. Check out the shit postings and all the live events that he has going on in his life. Look, you have anything?
There hasn't been a lot of
out?
posts since I got married.
Well, and why would
do
you?
believe
I
the
mean, that
profile
should
might-
be your last public post,
right, yeah,
right?
like the last public post is just like me kissing my wife, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? That's a great way to just sign it off, and
He's like,
it might just stay like that.
he rode off into the sunset.
That's
Or
it, you know.
he flew off into space. Is the more appropriate apropos to the situation. Um, so yeah, so that's what we got going on. Logan, thank you for kicking off the shout outs for us. So we can get that. We are going to be going for the next half hour. So we have a couple more kills to talk about, and then we're going to save it for some upcoming episodes. So let's see what we got to get through. Uh, excuse me. We're gonna go into Final Destination Bloodlines, which, if you guys haven't picked up so far, is my favorite movie in the franchise currently. Ranking
It's definitely one of the better ones for
neck
sure.
and
Like
neck with
overall,
two for sure. And I think I like it for how it's not. There's so many things with it. Like it's not a white person's movie for one. Um, like it's about heritage for another.
what do you mean by that?
Well, so it's really cool because the girl herself is like Filipino, or Asian or something, or her Japanese. I'm sorry. Yeah, I believe her dad is Japanese. Um, and so the thing about what you see in the movie is that like Bloodlines extends to like further than just like because we see them in the 50s, right? And then you see what her family has become, and it's actually like pretty diverse. So
Hmm.
that was what I meant by it. Because I think her cousin is mixed race also, of some sort. Oh no, she has two sides of the family. That's the thing. Is and that's how it feels to me. Is that like it has that like it's like recognizing that there's a culture in American culture that is like hybrid. Anyway, that's what I like about it. So
No, and I could agree.
uh,
Just as far as you say about like the hybrid culture, but I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, it's okay. Yeah, that was that you that was it's definitely a different reason to like this movie. I think than other people. They might not call out that specific thing, but like it feels like a movie that's closer to what is real and less of a movie. And so that's what this
Israel. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, like that's and that's the feeling. And when you do things that feel realistic instead of like doing movie tropes, you get things that feel more authentic. And so that's what I think Final Destination does. In the first one, kids going on their high school trip is a very like movie plot. Um, and girl having nightmares about her grandma's surviving death is for some reason more real. Because that's how that's how the movie starts. Like the whole thing, she wakes up, it's a dream, but we're like, oh, it's a premonition. We've seen premonitions like that, but like, how is she having this dream about this white woman? Um, yeah, right.
I
Anyway,
wish you having this dream about this white lady.
well, right, yeah, exactly. Where you just like, how is it? And then you're like, oh, but in three generations, like we can have beautiful children of all kinds of races. In some places in the world, in some cultures, they're like, heretic, burn him. And I'm like, you know what? Look at some like mixed race babies, like a lot of mixed race babies. Like to me, they are so like pretty. Like when you get like ones that are like half black and half Asian, or like you get even like white and black babies when they get mixed up. You just get some great characteristics from both races. And I think that the more that happens, the prettier the human race becomes. So I hope that in the future we're all brown skinned with blue eye and curly black hair. Um, because I think that we would be beautiful. So anyway, there's my my rant about humanity. Let's get back to the Final Destination kills. I mean, Logan, unless you want to take a moment to just talk. No, I'm just playing. Um,
Well, no, I mean, I get it. Hello's loud.
right. Yeah. So, um, when the end of this is where it happens. This is the end of Final Destination, Bloodlines. They're trying to defeat death, right? They're trying to get to a safe place and then decide that the only place they can be as safe is Grandma's house, which is this fortress out in the middle of nowhere, right? And so they have to do that. Um, you see that the lady who ended up with the lucky penny, she loses the lucky penny. The seat belts that they when they get cut off, this log truck cuts them off. The seat belts are broken. There's this big accident. There's the sparks of machinery as they get wrecked. Um, and then you see as they're trying to get to the cabin, there's all this stuff that's like getting in their way from doing it. Um, the frayed rope, it makes the plant drop, it turns on the stove, it lights a stray ember, and then what you see is as they reach the door, like the mom realizes that death has something afoot, and so she shields her son from the explosion of the grandma's cabin. Um, it's like and she's only saved by the mom closing the door in time. The main girl who we were watching, of course, for the movie, she seems like she's going to be drowning in the RV because she can't get out because the seatbelt got stuck. Um, and the RV that they were driving got thrown into this pool. Um, they're able to smash their way in there. Um, Mom gets killed by a falling light pole. Right after she vows that she will try to stay alive as long as she can, so it's like a high irony kill. And then
See, that
what's that?
this kind of just calls back, and I just, we've mentioned this before on other podcasts, but horror is comedy,
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah,
and we see it here, and I think this is one of the finer examples.
yeah. This is. I mean, so what we're seeing is, the big budget. They put a lot of into it. We see the Rube Goldberg death won't let him escape. It's building to this climax. The girl looks like she's not going to escape, and then her brother comes through and does CPR and saves her. Um, so yeah, I mean, like it's got a lot of really great things working for it. It is funny. It takes moments for that. It is high action. The tension's pulled really tight. So yeah, I mean I do like all those things. There is one thing that's sitting in the back of my brain that weakens this moment, in my opinion, and that's that we find out from whom I'm guessing is a cameo from either the writer or the director, that the death that she goes through here is not a legitimate death. And so this whole conclusion and the mom sacrificing herself means nothing.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the moment by itself, if you just see it out of that
Yeah, well,
context,
like
I'm
if
cool. But like, yeah, and
right, and
that's
I
the only
mean,
thing that brings it down.
ultimately, have we been ranking the other ones in context, or have we just been ranking them as their own thing?
Well, I've been trying to like point out like what it is. Like, um, I say that the Final Destination, the Final Destination's death where she gets eaten by an escalator, um, like that needs to be judged in context. Like, it's a great and fantastic death. It's an amazing scene, but like, it's a dream, like
Right.
we're ultimately robbed of that being a cool thing. And so this isn't a dream, so I'll definitely rank it above those. But at the same time, we get aha, but aha, she didn't really die, which is cool. And I
Right.
think that that's a thing, and I like how they're playing with this. And the conclusion of this movie is fun because of that, she didn't really die, um, which we haven't gotten to yet, but we will in one of these episodes someday when we
Sometime soon.
when we review the substance again. Um,
I'm sorry I didn't get the intro with you, where it's another episode of Flicking with Skip where we review the substance.
we hadn't gotten to that yet. So this is the first one, I believe, where we're always reviewing the substance. Um, so how are we feeling about this death then? So it's a big buildup and seems to have a payoff, but doesn't actually have a payoff. Um,
Right, and that's where it's like, some of our higher ranking ones, they have some meaning. There was
right.
only one really good premonition, I think, that made it way high up there.
Yeah, yeah. This movie. Um, that it's such a good series of scenes. It doesn't even matter that it's a premonition. Like the way that it all pays off. Like it's an event that does happen, and then she has a dream, and so many other things do happen. Like there's the whole fallout from that. Um, actually, and this is bold. We'll talk about it, but I want to rank this the lowest we can, F. Um,
Wow.
and maybe that's a type of like shadow ban or like shadow realm. But yeah, and only because it's a lot of production for nothing. Um, I kind of dislike that they saved the mom and she'd worked so hard all her life only for her get smashed by a pole and be the brunt of a joke. Again, if it meant something, if she did save her kids, then I would be down for it. Um,
Yeah.
but only because they have to still be on the run. It's just another death in a series of deaths. It's noble. They have some good moments. They make you think and feel during it, but in retrospect, and that's where I'm kind of standing with it. Um, yeah, actually, and I'll say it for this because here's the two that outrank it in E or the combined E and F, right? Here's the ones that are in the lowest set of tiers. Is that the friends get killed all in one go, and the videographer gets killed in a super absurd way that doesn't make any sense physically, and a number of other reasons. But like, and those to like rob us of those deaths, and this one I think is worse than those because it plays with us. You know what I mean? It makes us think that we aren't robbed, but only now in even talking about it where I'm like, oh wait, that has a
We were robbed. Yeah, right.
bad taste in my mouth. Um, Now this is in an absolute, in my opinion, high A S tier for most of the kills. We'll look at it to see how close I am in the estimation in the end, because I haven't really been trying to make that happen. That's my opinion of the movie as a whole. Um, but yeah, so in that movie, I think in other movies maybe it would. No, I think the same thing. It's weird that they did that in this way. I wonder, because that movie is so good. I wonder what they were trying to do. I mean, are they trying to make us feel like death is like a dirty bastard? Because they do a good job.
Yeah, and I
But
mean,
is
I feel
death
like
just
that's the
fucking with
going
us?
theme throughout like the whole thing is because like they're trying to fight what is essentially an unstoppable force
Yeah, yeah, and that's
without being an immovable object. So
yeah,
it's
right. And I guess that's kind of the thing that Tony Todd says in this movie too, right? Like it's coming for all of us. Like our time just comes and make the best of of what you have. I think is his
I don't,
ultimate message.
and I don't know if I've given us a Candyman
First Candyman of the
yet
episodes. If you guys are
yet
drinking
this
the Candymans.
episode.
So yeah, because it's the first reference of Tony Todd, the Candyman, in this episode. Okay. I feel comfortable with that. Very, very low ranking, and not for lack of trying. It's the really surprising thing.
Yeah,
Um,
it's definitely not for lack of production value. It's
right.
not for, the fact that it wasn't good even. It's just the
Yeah.
fact that like there's not a payoff. There's, this ultimately doesn't affect the story at large.
Now, listen, this is so interesting, right? So that's basically the same thought process for the escalator scene in Final Destination 3. But we ranked it a lot higher because that movie is crap. Now, we have the same thing that's happening in this really great movie, but it's doing that, and we rank it really, really low in comparison to the rest of the movie. So, I mean, interesting, right? How that like the movie itself is affecting how we're voting on it. Um,
True. Yes. Maybe we should maybe we should try to be a little bit more objective
I don't know. I
and just
mean,
like
this,
try to analyze the kill. See, but then when you take the kill out of context, it kind
yeah.
of kills a lot of its meaning.
Well, you can't. Yeah,
It kills why it's so cool.
yeah, you have to look at why it's so cool. Um, what do you? Oh, it's the one where yeah, they're like having that. It's the things overhead, and it's the whole. Okay, but that's also ranking really high because it doesn't only have her death. It has the movie explosion in 3D tucked inside of that too, and the whole way that it sets up. Um,
Right.
so as much as that it is a cheat, they spend a lot of time doing it, and I was actually calling that as their official ending of the movie as far as headcanon goes for me. So.
For Skip and Marazi, the movie ends there.
Yeah, it's pretty much like if I was watching with somebody, I'd be like, "All right, now we're stopping it," and they'd be like, That's it? That's the ending?" And I'd be like, "Yep, no more.
Like,
We're not gonna
wait,
watch."
there's another half hour left in
Yeah,
this
there's
movie.
no way that this is the ending because the movie is already short as it is. If you take out the last half hour, it's only like 90 minutes. I'm sorry, it's only like just an hour.
It's like 70 minutes or something, and you're like, damn.
And they're like, yeah, no, because I think they just even hit like full screen time. I think it's like an hour and 15 minutes or something. Uh, it's,
We're sorry, Final Destination.
yeah,
You guys don't deserve this. I mean,
well,
some of you do.
Final Destination 3 specifically, I mean, just, so, all right. Um, the two of those together, I have been dogging on the roller coaster and the NASCAR explosion, but there's some great kills, and we still haven't gotten to my favorite one in the Final Destination. Although it turns out that I do like a few of them quite a bit.
Yeah,
Uh,
there are quite a few that are pretty harrowing.
yeah, yeah, for real. Here, here's one. I think that we're gonna have the ability to. Oh wow. No, I think we're gonna have the ability to do this one. We're gonna have to start with the really long one in the next episode, and it definitely looks like we're gonna be doing a couple more episodes here. Um,
Yes, sir.
yeah, like it's such a long process. Anyway, Final Destination 5, right? It's in my opinion a great movie. Um, it decided to take liberties because it went back in time, and we already know that all the characters are going to die, so they decided to build up stories with them. Um, wow, sorry. One of the things that was trending in the 90s was LASIK eye surgery. And so the hot girl is going to go get LASIK eye surgery, and she is scared. She wants to hold a teddy bear. Um, in LASIK eye surgery, if you don't know, it is they cut part of your lens back, peel it back, and then and reclose the flap. So they basically
With
like
a laser.
with the laser. Yeah, that's the important part. So that they can your eye is basically acting
Yeah,
as like
you're
a corrective lens. Um,
so what's fun about LASIK eye surgery is that your eye has to be open
yeah,
the whole time.
yeah. And so she gets locked in place, and her eye gets clamped in place. Yeah. She's squeezing the bear and pops out the eye of the bear. And then the doctor's like, "Hey, I'm just gonna leave you alone." We see the water jug bubble, and then it knocks a cup of water on top of the plug. This zaps the instrument that's responsible for the laser. And so she can see it starting up, and she's trying to reach the emergency shut-off button, but she can't. And then she starts getting burned by the laser across her face
Yeah,
and
like
up to her eye. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say like on her arm as well because she tries to block it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
There's a, there's like a shot where it hits like her arm and her hand, and she's just like, oh,
Um, and so she finally gets herself free. She's screaming. People come running in. She slips on the bear's eye that popped out of the head as she was squeezing it. She goes out the window, and she loses her eye in the process, which gets run over by a car.
pretty graphic thing to see.
I mean, there's just so many, like, the scene starts cute, right? Like, because she, like, goes in the doctor's office and she's like, what are those for? The teddy bears, right? And he's like, oh, those are for some of our kid patients. And then she's like, oh, he's like, and some of our not kid patients, right? And then it cuts to her, like, with the teddy bear. So we have, like, instantly this, like we want her to be safe and taken care of. We never want anything bad to happen to her. And then, all the things we just described, the graphicness of that. Final Destination is 5 is really good at luring us in to liking the people they're about to murder. Which is
Right.
you should. That's exactly the sort of thing that you want. You want to care about these things. That's what makes them more horrifying.
Right.
It's scary when it happens to your friends more than some characters on the screen. And so they
I
make
was
them our
gonna say
friends.
that's like like that's what makes horror.
Yeah,
Is
well,
the fact that you care about the people who die.
that's what makes a good horror if they're doing it well.
Right.
Yeah, when you incorporate this element of drama where we're involved in who they are and what they want, is when you can get effective storytelling in so many ways in any genre. And they now finally incorporated it into horror. I don't know about finally, but more commonly have incorporated into horror. I guess is more of the way to say it, because good horror has been doing this for ages, like build up characters that we love so we're terrified for our friends who are in the movies. Anyway, all movies do that to you. That's or any good story will do that to you, is that you believe them. So what do you think, Logan? What do you how high should we rank this one? Because it definitely, as far as like terrifying, I'm sure it had like a little bump in LASIK eye surgery sales, or dip rather. You know,
Well, I mean, man, because it's one of those visuals, like it's one of those things that seems like it can happen by accident.
yeah,
It's not one of those ridiculous type of, kills that we see, with like the swords or whatever. We see
right.
something that could potentially, in an unregulated place, like with fucking inept doctors, this could happen.
Okay, could, right, but the thing is that the laser doesn't kill her. She goes out the window, and that's what kills her.
Hmm.
But only because of the thing that had previously happened, right? So yes, I agree with you. Yeah, it could happen. It absolutely is one of those things. It's like a normal thing that happened. And then we have the additional kind of like Final Destination twist on it. Is that she's thrown from the heights too. I don't think it should be voted very high. I think it's delivering what it's supposed to as far as so I'm thinking it's probably like we should be talking about where in C it's going. But
Yeah, that's what I was gonna think. Solid C.
solid C, yeah. Um, More along the lines of where we started actually with this Mrs. Lewton, John Denver thing happening. Yeah, actually, I'd have to say it's probably exactly that same ranking.
Hmm.
Like, it's a nice setup. It's really kind of what you would want and what you would expect. Um, it goes big, just like the explosion of her house after she's already been hit with the knife block. She sees it's coming and trying to stop it. These are, yeah, I think almost probably beat for beat. They may have even taken their notes from Final Destination 1 for this scene. Because it has a lot of really similar feelings to it. Um, anyway, that's my vote there. Would probably be like
I
C
could
is
agree.
all
Yeah.
kind of middling, but it's like it's lower. I think it's lower than the roller coaster accident.
Yeah. The roller coaster was something that was like that's like an iconic. Like when you think Final Destination, you think kills like that.
Yeah, yeah. And while that's a vision, that does happen.
Right. And it's like it doesn't seem like this one delivers on that same par.
Yeah, as far as its bigness goes, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
It while still being a satisfying kill in the Final Destination kills. All right, cool. Well, that's cool. That's kind of we hit our wrap up for the evening. Um, that's real fun. And guys, even with we don't compare the list, I think we're probably still looking at 5 episodes altogether. So the treat is yours. You're welcome to take as much as you want from this bowl of candy that is the Final Destination ranking reviews. Logan,
Guys, I'm sorry. It's a long process.
no, I'm not apologizing. I've been having a lot of fun with going through and seeing what we like about it. I think this franchise it has been really surprising in the same way that I think that Tarantino was really surprising to me personally.
Yeah.
And you called it out. Like I wasn't expecting to have such enjoyment and spend so much time on each of these. Um, like we have really like we'll go over them again like piece by piece and be like, oh yeah, there's some crazy shit that happens in
Right.
these Final Destination movies, and even in the ones that I personally am still like kind of jokingly like making fun of, but the more that I look directly at even the ones that I didn't like that much, I'm like they have some really solid kills in them. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
what's the one that we in this one? Oh, the kill that of the woman who gets the rock through the eye. Real easy kill. Um, like not but like it's just like the setup of it. This is in the Final Destination, the Final Destination, which I'm just like, oh, this is just like so cheap. Yeah, we ranked that in the S tier. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of maybe not dog on those movies so much, seeing as they have they have some actually really cool Rube Goldberg, really high suspense, messing with us, making us like characters and dislike characters.
Right.
So maybe there's weaker premises around some of these parts of the movie, but in analyzing the deaths separately in this way, I think that we're finding that yeah, this whole series has some gems. I rambled for quite a bit. Logan, give me your thoughts.
Well, the Final Destination. We when we went into it, we didn't think it was gonna be, kind of like as Skipper mentioned, as long and as drawn out as it
Not a
was.
series, yeah.
Yeah, like this was something that we thought we were gonna get done in one episode, but you know what? Just
The
and
really the trick was on us, right?
right, it just alludes back to what Skip said, where there's actually so much that you can look into with any one of these movies as far as their quality, who directed them, who wrote them, and
It's true, and we haven't
just
even done that.
right. Like we focused. Welcome back to another review of The Substance, but we we
Oh yeah,
focused a
that's
lot on like
specifically
who
what we're doing
wrote.
is reviewing the substance.
But like we focused a lot on like directors and stuff on a lot of our previous stuff, and like the time that it came from and who wrote it, and but with these we're just kind of ranking them all just as they are right now.
Yeah, and how they are as entertainment. That's kind of the idea that because this series it has a lot of writers, it has a lot of directors. I don't
Right.
think it's actually more than either an OSHA psyop or I've been thinking recently it may have started out as just your standard old money laundering scheme. Um, yeah, where do you put $30,000 or more and get millions out in return? So
Yeah,
some
it was
dirty
just
oil
OSHA
money.
money laundering.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying all films are made that way, but I would say there's probably a large portion of movies that are made with some like money that's coming from some guy who's giving you cash. Uh, because that's how things operate. I don't have any specific stories. I wish that I did, and if you guys have some for the comments, please, I want to hear them. So please comment below. I want to hear these stories so bad. Also, reach out to us so we can get you on Flicking with Skip. I'm sorry, like a Drawing with Jack episode, and hear the story of the money laundering that made movies and its long, notorious history. Um, So yeah, I would like to believe that Final Destination actually is just some guy who's connected vaguely to the mob, and they've got like a lot of cocaine money. Um, and they're like,
It's like, hey, yo,
yeah,
OSHA gave us another $30,000. We need to write another Final Destination movie,
right,
cuz.
right. And it's just they're yeah. Yeah, it's actually so the dirty money is actually just helping the OSHA psyop because they're like, we tricked them again. And they're like, yeah, we tricked them again. We're
Fuck
making
it, write another Saw movie.
yeah. Yeah, right. Once again, I don't think we're ever gonna review a Saw movie unless I somehow realize that, in the same way that Final Destination has more depth than I expected they do. But
It's only like the first three movies, I think.
well,
That's what.
the first one would be my argument, but because that actually it's a good indie film. Saw is a great indie film. Once they left that genre, in my opinion, it just did not work in the same lovely way that Saw One does. But I guess this is a wrap up. We can discuss the other movie. I was gonna be like, this is not a Saw review. We're not doing a Saw review. Um,
Right, guys, we're not reviewing Saw, we're reviewing the
The
substance.
Substance. If you guys didn't know, we're reviewing The Substance. But actually, the more that I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, yeah, it would be really fun to review just the first movie, specifically as to why that movie is great and the other ones aren't quite living up to that. Um, I-
Honestly, worth a rewatch. And
yeah, for real.
there's something in a cut that I believe no longer exists. If we do talk about this movie,
Mm,
that one of the first times I saw it was really graphic.
how do you mean?
So, okay, I guess spoilers.
Okay, so
Um,
you like saw a director's cut or something like that?
Dude, I don't even know if this cut exists anymore. But toward the end of the movie, it gets to a point where like the blonde guy,
Mm-hmm. Carrie Ells.
in, instead of cutting his foot off, he bashes his ankle with like a piece of like concrete,
No.
and like he breaks it and slips it out of the shackle
No.
instead of cutting it off. Yeah, it was wicked, dude. Like
Why?
it
I,
was so hardcore.
I mean, I guess the Saw. Okay, yeah. Oh, wow. That changes quite a bit of things.
Yeah, like it was a wicked ending. It was like a weird ending where like he couldn't actually reach the saw, but he could reach like this chunk of concrete. So he just bashes his ankle until he can flip it out of the shack. It's really fucked up, dude.
Uh, hmm. Guys, if you
Oh,
come from a parallel timeline where Logan existed previous to this, where you have witnessed
dude,
this
you can't
movie
be serious. You haven't seen this?
I mean, I'm just saying. This hardcore cut of the movie I have not seen. Uh,
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Marazi is trying to Mandela infect me right now.
you say it like I'm trying to like gaslight you. I'm just saying that I'm not positive. Now we actually have to watch the film. Guys, comment below if you want us to review Saw, because I'm interested if you're interested. And we'll talk about this.
We'll do one Saw movie.
Yeah, I will only talk about the first Saw movie. I refuse to talk about the other ones. Refuse. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a reason to.
Me
I
personally, I'll
can't.
go up to Saw 3. That's just me. I'll and
There's a
if
lot of Saw to
if I
talk
try
about.
hard if I try hard enough, guys, and if we try hard enough, we might be able to convince Skip to go all the way through 1, 2, and 3. Because
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
because
10. I
for
was
me,
gonna be like, oh God, no. Oh no. I mean, I might. I'll go on a bender and just watch Saw movies. Anyway, that's us for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. You've made it to the end of the podcast. Flicking with Skip, a behind the scenes podcast for Cox in Space, where we review movies and work on the animatics for the Cox in Space show. So get with us. Come check us out, coxinspace.com. Join the crew there, and we will see you soon on one of these crazy podcasts that we've got on. And bye.
adios, everyone.